Hey everyone, just making a really quick video in regards to a ARGB and Rainbow headers and how they daisy chain into the Coolermaster fans. So what we have to remember is that both deliver different voltages. So for the Coolermaster fans, we are going to use the ARGB headers, and they're located in different spots with different motherboards. So if you can see as I zoom in, I have a ARGB2 and a Rainbow 2 up here, which obviously means that there's a ARGB1 and a Rainbow 1 as well on the motherboard. So with this, with these fans, you're going to plug it into the Rainbow, and as you can see, it's a 3-pin. So once you plug one fan into that Rainbow 3-pin port, the rest of the fans will simply daisy chain to each other, and I'll go ahead and show you how that daisy chain looks like. So looking at the back, here is the female connector that is plugged into the motherboard into the Rainbow 1 or 2 header, or on your motherboard it may say ARGB. It's different for each motherboard, but it's a 3-pin connection. And the way that these fans daisy chain is they provide this connection, which is the female connection, and alongside with it is the male connection. So this connection will go into your second fan, and here's the connection on my second fan, and I just plug it in here into this port, and then it connects over to the next fan, and I'll just unplug it right here, going into the next fan. And that's how it's getting its connection off of one header. And this is basically where it terminates, and they provide like a little rubber cover, grommet over it, so that you don't mess up these pins in case you want to continue to daisy chain and let's say buy 2 more and stick them onto your AIO cooler, etc. So this is how you basically daisy chain all 3 of them. And then as far as the system fan power itself, obviously it goes into your motherboards, directly into your motherboard, going into your system fan 1, 2, 3, or 4. And that's basically how you daisy chain. So I also got questions about the controller that comes with the Coolermaster fans. This will be used if you don't have the ARGB header on your motherboard. So if you don't have Rainbow or ARGB listed on your motherboard, and you could obviously check that through your manufacturer's book or PDF that they provide. So basically the way that this works is this button right here allows you to control and cycle through the different patterns that they have pre-set within this controller. And the way that this plugs in is on this side you have the SATA power, and this is really what you'll be plugging into this controller. So this right here will be plugging in, this cable will be plugging into the controller. The other end obviously will go into your power supply for your SATA power. And the fans, you're starting off with this connection, the 3-pin connection. It is going into your fan number 1 into the female port, and the rest of them are going to do the same thing as I showed earlier, that they're going to daisy chain. So you would just basically daisy chain them along, and in order to cycle through, you'd probably have to have easy access to this controller and just hit the button to cycle through the colors. So this is basically if you do not have a Rainbow or a ARGB labeled header on your motherboard. And I keep mentioning Rainbow. Rainbow is for MSI motherboards. Obviously other manufacturers have different names for their ARGB headers, but again, those are 3-pin headers, so you should be able to identify those. And if you don't, then you could still go through this method and use the controller if it came along with your 3-pack. If not, you should probably want to look online, and you can purchase the controller most likely. Yeah, and that's about it.